Hi, Joe.
Hey man, how are you?
Good. It's been a while. So
Yeah.
glad to have you. You're a busy boy. Let's see. New album, because there's several solo albums, a tour with Gary Sharon, the Jeff Beck tribute show, the Hollywood Vampires live album, and then a little bit of a tour with them. When are you getting a chance to sleep, Joe?
It's been a while. It's kind of a warm up. It's really a lot when you look at it on the schedule, but I kind of take it day to day.
How is Steven's health, by the way? Because that was an issue for the Las Vegas residency.
He's doing really well. He had the surgeries on his foot and it was really a lot. I mean, it was almost impossible for him to stand. It was tough. So anyway, he's doing really well though. Talked to him a bunch over the last bunch of months and he's doing great actually. Right now, we're ready to launch a tour of the States in September. That's what we're planning right now. So we're getting ready to go again.
What about Joey Kramer? Will he be able to resume and join you guys on that?
I'm thinking no. At this point, his heart's in the right place, but listen, playing the drums is an athletic event, and there's a certain point when you just kind of every joint starts to give out, man. So at this point, we're not thinking he's going to be there. We'll see.
This new album, well, albums, but particularly this new one that's coming out in May, you've got everybody on it. Chris Robinson, Gary Sharon, Terry Reid, who was tapped to be the original singer for Led Zeppelin, but ended up passing on that and recommending this kid, Robert Plant, Robin Zander, who's from the area here, and David Johansen from the New York Dolls. You've got everybody on the album. It's pretty cool.
It evolved into that. Originally, it was meant to be an instrumental album. But as I started piling up all these songs, Jack Douglas, who you might know from our history, kept popping his head in the studio and said, "Well, why don't you have David Johansen come in? What do you think about that?" And he came in, and it worked out great because I had all these songs written out and arranged, ready to go, and man, it just worked out, and it just kind of snowballed. So it was the first time I'd done a solo record in LA. It always worked out of Boston. And to be able to work with guys that they're friends and you meet them backstage, you see them on the road, you go to their shows, and wow, someday it would be great to get in a studio together. Well, that was someday.
And you ended up getting two albums out of it, too, right?
Yeah, the whole idea was to put it out on vinyl. We were limited to the amount of songs we could put on, and everything was done like we were making a real vinyl record. The artwork, all that stuff, all the stuff that I miss all these years putting out music. I mean, rather than putting vinyl out after the fact, that was the main thing, was to be able to put it out on vinyl.
Switzerland Manifestos 1 and 2. So I'm curious about the tour that sees you coming through town here next week with Gary Sharon of Extreme
Yeah,
and Van Halen fame,
yeah,
fellow
definitely.
Bostonian.
That's a big part of it. I mean, I've known him forever,
Mhm.
being from Boston, but we finally had a chance to work together and come in and sing with the project. He's great, man. And being from Boston, he's got some favorite Aerosmith songs. And when I ask him, "What do you want to sing?" Because I like to do some Aerosmith tunes that are some of my favorites, he'll give me a list and we pull from that.
Well, I hope you end up playing Chip Away the Stone, one of my favorite Aerosmith songs.
You know what? If I get any more requests, we'll have to readjust the set list.
So, just before we go here, the Jeff Beck tribute show, which is really cool because there's kind of a commonality here and a connection, Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah, I've been a Jeff Beck fan since the very beginning. And through my friendship with Jeff, Johnny started hanging with him and became fast friends. And they worked together on a record. And he was around when Jeff passed. So it kind of works out that we're going to do the tribute in London right before we have to go to Manchester, New Hampshire, of all places, which is my backyard, to rehearse for the Vampires. So we'll be zooming from the Jeff Beck tribute right into the welcoming arms of the Hollywood Vampires.
Well, you're going to be well rehearsed for the Vampires and then for the subsequent, as you mentioned, Aerosmith tour. Joe, thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you here in Chicagoland. And thank you, Joe Perry, once again.
The last time, one standout show that I remember being in Chicago was one night I sat in with Jimmy Buffett on like a Friday, and then Saturday I sat in with Jane's Addiction, Lollapalooza, and it was like such a mind blower. I played at two different audiences like that, like back to back.
Was that
That
about 10 years ago? Because I think that was when you were in town and you popped by my show, actually.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
one of those things where it just happened, things lined up. It's one of the most outstanding weekends I ever spent in Chicago. I love it there.
We love having you. We're looking forward to seeing you and hearing you, Joe. Thank you so much. And get some rest in here because you're going to need it, boy. This is going to be a marathon, brother.
I sleep and I play.
And let the music do the talking. Thank you, Joe.
Excellent. Thank you.